My potions are too strong for you, traveler.
Welcome back, everybody. We're back with Bardsho making
Chup.
his Bard show.
I'm doing the ever so important height modifier right now. That's what I'm doing.
And to start us off, we have a little backstory from a previous campaign that you guys want to talk about, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was the time that my character got taken away and possessed by the demons, and I guess TK has the DM perspective on it.
Yep, I was the DM or dungeon master in that scenario.
You can roll, Bardsho.
Just to give a very
Okay.
quick background, Sean's character, along with several of our friends, Wilson, who's going to be DMing this next campaign, I believe Greg, and then Sean was another person in that.
You put the slash in the wrong spot, Bracho.
Slash R.
Yeah. Don't forget the slash. It's always about the slash. Long story short, the campaign started you
Oof.
in Daggerdale, which was a cozy enough scenario. You guys started out having to deal with some very vicious bandits, and then
the
you
Room
had-
guard or whatever we called it.
yep.
So I'm stuck at being 35 pounds
Why?
because it says 35 pounds times 1 pound for a weight modifier.
Okay, well you're 35 pounds then.
Sweet. I'm 2'9".
I'll be honest.
35 pounds.
If you ask Wilson, he'll probably say, "Why?" As far as like, why are you stuck on 35 pounds? I mean, to be fair, you're you're a halfling. You're lithe. You're quicker on your feet. Basically, we had them, or I had them, trying to suppress an evil in the land, as you will. They went to these ruins, and they had several adventures along the way, and as Sean was not aware, I was actually keeping track of how he interacted with some of the populace, NPCs, how he dealt the killing blows, if you will, on several of the enemies, and this actually was one of the unseen stats.
I did not know about any of this.
No, you did not, because
This is the first time I heard about it.
This was
Why are you
act-
following me, bro?
That's part of a DM's
Well, this-
magic.
the DM magic.
I'm
This
going
was-
chaotic neutral, my dudes.
Okay, I like it. This was actually how I was interpreting your state of mind when it came to the campaign. Think of it as your paladin having to deal with the rigors of adventure, his choices and how they affected his base values. And if you remember, it was actually I had told you, difficult situation because his character was actually captured, and they were using him as a vessel for a very vicious and very conniving demon who was actually one of the people that they interacted with early on in the campaign. And to be fair, to be actually perfectly honest, was a huge modifier when it came to if you actually resisted the possession or failed it. Because if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, your character wasn't viciously opposed to accepting help from him. Because that was the big thing, at least from that branch of the campaign, was they were at essentially a blocking point. They caught what was, it wasn't a news kind of like pamphlet or not ye olde times, a kind of marker indicating something that they weren't aware of.
Well, actually, the Y was pronounced like a TH.
Yeah.
So it's
I-
the old.
The old.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
Well, they weren't aware because it was. This is another aspect of characters. The languages that they can speak. and again, kind of peeking behind the DM screen. These are things you take into consideration, like if this is a language that they can't speak, or say one person is learned in it, but their race might be behind it. You might give them one or two kind of like words behind it, and at
You're an
least I
instrumentalist.
felt like it was a kind of a compelling,
Unless you want
at
to roll
least
for
like
it.
early on, a compelling sort of
Just take instrumentalist.
plot point. I don't know. I guess.
I'm still wanting to continue that campaign. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
it was a great campaign.
And yeah, I was to say the campaign there was fantastic. Yeah, I really can't say that truthfully because I'd be tooting my own horn. But that was,
Polishing your own rod.
you know what? I will
Tickling my own pickle.
I take that back. I will toot my own horn. Because
Honk my own hooter.
That whole campaign was homemade. And I felt, at least, you guys were having an alright time.
I was having a great time, honestly. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah, because you got to be paladin, man.
I got to be Paladin Man, and then I got to be Demon Man.
And then you were torn, and then you had the paladin like duel. That was I'm sure that was like a.
Oh yeah, we had the whole redemption arc too.
Yeah.
Because my guy got possessed, and no one in the party would trust me, and we ran into this other paladin, and he was just like, "I can taste the taint of demons on you."
Oh,
whatever."
fuck
And I
you,
was
Sean.
That's what the whole
Taints.
was like.
Out of character, yes.
I never want to taste a taint in my life.
Exactly. I didn't either, but I had. And I wanted to get
did.
the taste out of my mouth. So I asked the paladin, dude, bro, you gotta help me. There's gotta be something.
He was
And
like,
was
"You're
just
too lost. You're lost."
We dueled.
Oh, you
We
did.
dueled and
He
left
fought
it up
him.
to the gods, and I won. I
And
barely won.
Ooh.
It was neck and neck.
He let you win.
You let me win?
Whoa.
Wow.
How about that?
I'm pulling all of the wind out of your sails. I apologize. All right, you know what?
Well, I almost wiped the party when I was demon mode.
He was really strong. To be fair, he had really good base stats, and that was kind of
Or the paladin?
you.
Oh,
when,
yeah, me,
when
yeah.
you were possessed, because
Hmm.
I kind of took control of you, and I was like, "Hey, you're gonna attack your buddies here."
And
And
it's like,
unfortunately-
no, but
Please
my arms are
don't
already
swing.
swinging.
No, oh God. And unfortunately,
this is terrible.
it seems like the roll of the dice, as I've been the butt of many accusations, seem to be always in favor of the DM, and you always seem to hit harder when I was holding control. But I will never admit to loaded dice because that's not the fact. I just happen to roll well.
Right.
Yeah, you can do those flaws. You can do.
Right. I'm looking at this stuff here.
You can be a
Looking at
criminal.
This. I'm an entertainer.
You're an entertainer.
Okay.
I'm an instrumentalist. So I'm gonna be. Do I have to roll for that, or can I just choose it?
No, I mean, obviously Wilson is the final word on it, but
Right.
I feel if you have a compelling enough backstory, you can choose whichever role you want.
So I'm gonna one of my traits. I know a story relevant to almost every situation.
Okay.
Just one
Yeah. Let's see. That's the really awesome thing. Being a player character, I don't know if I'd want to know about it, but from the DM perspective, at least I would hope this is how Wilson kind of interprets it. The more you embellish like your personal
Right.
interpretation of a background,
Right. Yeah, this is just
obviously,
the bullet points
they're-
that get
they're-
fleshed
they're
out.
Guidelines.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would think they're guidelines of how you want to expand your character. Not
Helps
only
you determine how he reacts to situations.
right. That's a huge thing.
So like my guy in the last campaign, one of his character traits was he was fair. So if someone was being treated unfairly around him, he kind of felt the need to step in and arbitrate a little bit.
Right.
And sometimes you arbitrated your halberd into people's faces.
Well, only when they had it coming. Only when I could smell the evil coming out of their pores.
Exactly.
Otherwise, Holy Smite wouldn't have worked on him.
It did. Holy Smite works a lot.
I love Holy Smite. Holy shit. That's
Love Holy Smite, holy shit.
Holy.
That's why I'm playing Paladin again, because Holy Smite is just too funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go Paladin. I'm
Are
gonna
you
go
sure?
Batman branch this time.
You know, not to kind of like sidetrack too much, but you know, really funny thing is actually how Greg is a friend of ours. Greg is playing in this Curse of Strahd campaign that I'm playing, DMing. He's playing a dwarf, and one of his kind of background elements is that he's looking for a clansmate that is he essentially you know, did wrong by the clan, and you know, traditional dwarf fashion. Greg actually has a book of grudges. He actually made one. It's really cool, actually. He's got like
Airing of the grievances.
No, yeah, absolutely. No, he has written in this
Tis the
grudges in the character, and I freaking love it.
That's so
because
good.
he's written that book of. He's actually like you know, like written things in that book of grudges. But the important thing, and it might be annoying to a lot of people, but and admittedly to me in some occasions, but I love it overall, is that he has a wanted poster for the dwarf he's looking for, and I kid you not, most everybody he's come up against, as far as NPCs or even like very vicious, borderline, gonna kill you in one round of combat people, he's always pulled out the scroll.
Nice.
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this boy?
Have you seen this boy here?
That's fucking great.
Have you seen
This clever boy?
So
It's like John Connor. Have you seen this boy?
Have you seen this man? Obviously, you know, D&D is high fantasy, but there's got to be some slight roots in reality.
That face, Bardsho.
Yeah.
High fantasy. Just
Hi.
fucking
High fantasy.
Fantasy. But I mean, you know, it's you. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're
Can,
wrong.
Wrong.
you can feel like
terrible, god awful.
Wrong.
You feel like you can actually fall into a narrative better when
I have the
there's
best narratives. The greatest.
best, greatest narratives. When there's at least one or two, or at least like half a dozen roots in like a real world setting. You know, like you can relate. It's obviously like you
One
can't.
thing that no one ever probably thinks about in D&D or other tabletop games is fucking gravity.
Yeah, but
You can.
D&D has been around since 1978. I want to say 77, 78. That's when advanced D&D was kind of really catching wind, and they actually had the first
Breaking wind.
Right,
Fucking
breaking wind.
Bardsho's
This is
like-
when their first breaking wind.
I was gonna go there, but I was taking a drink at the time, so I
got
couldn't.
it. I tagged. You
Yeah.
tagged
But,
me. I got it.
That's been almost 40 years worth of people playing, rules being revised. Obviously, you have advanced D&D, and then you have 1, 2, 3.5, 4, and 5. I mean, this is a ton of experience, obviously, relating to these rules. But I feel like the biggest thing that could make a you know, one session using the same rule set from another, like enjoyable versus par for the course, being you embellish what your players are doing. I will never disbelieve that a character who can properly enunciate why their player or their character in this case is doing something they're doing, either non-combat oriented or even, you know, just like how they're handling killing an enemy.
Something that would be like out of the ordinary from
Yeah.
a standard RPG game.
Like you know,
Like Greg with the poster going, "Have you seen this man?"
it adds in just even the slightest bit of depth to a narrative that you might not have done yourself. And I will be honest, it's really, really difficult from a DM perspective to think of all the angles. And that's the nice thing.
Heyo.
is I will.
I'm gonna
go
roll for some
into
money.
A scenario, having the backgrounds in mind and a general idea of where you guys are at, and preferably BSing the rest of it. if you have to be perfectly honest, because that's some of the things might be really kind of off the cuff.
So what were those 2 rolls?
That was for money.
Was your money roll?
That was my money. I got
Yes.
120 money.
You gotta have
120
monies.
monies.
You gotta have monies, and you have starting equipment as well.
Yep.
So
Starting
Or
you know,
if you want, you can choose your own equipment that has
How do I-
equal cost. to the starting
yeah,
equipment.
like I've done, as long as you can justify it, at least cost-wise, or maybe like background-wise, why you have, say, a Warhammer versus a regular mace,
Right.
or a
On the last campaign for my paladin, I took a halberd instead of the longsword and shield.
Yep, and I was fine with that, because you were saying that like your
He was a carpenter before he was a paladin,
Yep.
so he was more used to swinging an axe. Hint: I based my paladin off the J-Man.
Hallelujah.
Love.
one
Heyo.
love J-ups. But
J-ups.
background,
Can I use a sick ass bow staff?
a staff would be
Taller
actually,
person?
Quarter staff is a thing. Admittedly, I don't know if Bard offhand is proficient in it because
How do I find that out?
Go to the
well,
weapons page, or no,
well,
character class.
first thing would be if you go to the Bard class page. If you go,
It should tell you what you're
Yep.
proficient, what
Armor,
weapons,
weapons.
and armor you're
Light
proficient
armor, simple weapons, hand crossbows, long
Alright,
swords,
so-
rapiers, short swords.
You
light,
might be able to
simple
use
weapons. I
quarterstaff.
believe that a quarterstaff is a simple weapon. That is chapter 5.
There it is, quarterstaff. You see it?
2-year
Up top,
a
a little
2-hit.
down, right there.
Yep. So if it's in
That's
the
a simple melee weapon.
Yep, if it's a simple melee weapon, then you can use it, and you can add your proficiency modifier to it.
Okay.
Quarterstaffs, I believe, go off of your strength modifier.
What the fuck's SP compared to GP?
Silver pieces
Yep.
versus gold pieces.
So,
The currency tiers are
how many
copper,
silver pieces go in a gold piece?
Platinum.
Well,
100.
yeah.
100?
So it's every 100 is a tier upwards.
Should put the
Exactly.
the damage too on that.
But the big important thing is to remember, 1, you're proficient in it, and 2, as Tyler had mentioned, what the damage is. Certain weapons actually have different ways that you can apply the damage. Case in point, a longsword. A longsword is naturally...
Slashing,
Yep. Well, no.
piercing.
The damage type is going to be staying the same. What I was referring to is 1d8 swinging it one-handed.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you
Or,
swing a longsword,
versatile.
versatile. is the
Improvised.
actual-
Improvised weapons. Or is that
uh,
something totally different?
That's something different.
Improvised is different.
Yeah,
But
versatile means there's more than one way to use it.
Okay.
Like a longsword.
Yeah, that makes
You
sense.
can do
Longsword
one-handed
case
or two-handed.
Exactly.
Same with the bastard
And that's-
sword.
and it's a 1d8
Yeah.
versus a 1d10. And I mean,
Yep.
obviously that can be a huge thing as far as like how your character.
I mean, he
is
could use
played.
that quarterstaff as a pole vault.
Yeah,
That too.
yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
non-combat
He's so
thing,
tiny. He's just like
absolutely.
flings
the
it
big
and
thing.
stabs somebody in the toe and then flings and kicks him in the face.
And that's
Wilson did that a lot in our campaign because he was a monk.
There you go.
um,
He did a lot of little pole vaulting, flying kicks, and fancy.
But that would
I
be
believe
improvising
he
that
had a
weapon's
Shoryuken
usability,
once or twice.
wouldn't it? It would be improvising a way of attacking with that weapon.
Yep.
I think they got rules for that too.
And it's kind of a lot of times it's kind of up to the DM. You
Mhm.
can a lot of times there are
Just like-
improvised damage
Do a dexterity check.
So,
or things like that.
so here's a question.
Yes.
With the so light armor, so those are 3 different ones.
Yes.
Do you suggest I just go for the big boy right away?
Well, again, this is one of those kind of like subtle things where how is your point placement going? When it comes to light armor,
Yeah.
like the earlier ones, like padded
Yeah.
leather armor, you don't have a limitation on the number of points from your dexterity modifier that you can apply to your armor value.
Right.
If you notice, if you go into like the medium and heavy armors,
Yeah.
there's like say for example, so unfortunately I can't really see it at the moment. Is it scale mail?
Yeah.
Like some of those like mill ones.
Yep.
Yep. They have a decent armor value themselves, but you can only add up to a 2 modifier
Max 2.
from,
Yep.
from your dexterity. So
And they
say
give you
have a-
disadvantages too on stealth. It says there too.
Right.
Yep.
And obviously, Sean.
Do they
unfortunately-
still have the spellcasting stuff too?
So this-
That's kind of like a DM
Yeah.
discretion kind of thing.
So the light armor doesn't
Yeah, that's
have
why
any
I failed all those stealth
max.
checks in the last campaign because I was clanking around in chainmail, and then after that I had plate mail, so I just wasn't.
You were
sneaky.
stomping really hard.
I was stomping hard.
But I would say that
trying
you
to figure out if I want to be like straight up folk metal, or if I want to go full bore like fucking 80s heavy metal studded
No,
leather.
That's the thing is like,
take into account your own weight too.
Yeah.
That's
I
that-
mean,
you're 30-something pounds.
35 pounds, dude.
the only,
It's like-
only
that's
time you really
31
need to
or
wear,
13
like
pounds.
heavy armor,
Yeah.
Bradshaw,
Huh?
is if you don't have a high enough dexterity modifier to make up for it.
So probably middle ground's probably the best.
stick with leather.
I'm gonna be leather. I'm gonna be a leatherman.
I think it said padded had disadvantages.
Yeah, padded had
well,
stealth
admittedly, like,
disadvantage.
you know, it's all you know.
For
Obviously,
example.
you know, those are things that you'd want to kind of use as a face value, but you know, if you want to.
Yeah, it wouldn't seem that padded would be a stealth disadvantage.
You know what? I've never understood that.
I think only plate and stuff like that, like it's
Heavy
like cumbersome.
armors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Makes
you
sense.
can see that like on the top end of the
Is it-
mediums and the
Is it like
heavies.
swishy pants and stuff where it just makes a lot of noise when you move around in
You
it?
actually are like you know you're you know Eastern European, and if you don't Slavic squat, you're at disadvantage.
That'd be a great rule set.
Oh my god.
Slavic squatting.
D20 modern.
Slav squat.
The Slav stealth.
So I think we're gonna probably end it there for this session again.
Sure.
I enjoyed that little discussion there. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Bradshaw got a little bit further with his background and his equipment and things like that.
I think yeah,
Abacus.
At least from a background perspective, once you get that settled out,
Yeah.
your character
I-
might be ready.
I chose a few of the suggested things in there to help me flesh it out.
Keep things close to the cup.
Yeah, that's why I was doing it in silence while you guys were.
Sean and I
Doing
are
things,
admittedly
talking.
playing in the same campaign, and you
I
know,
won't use anything I learn about your character, like
You're not
against
gonna
you or
remember.
anything, 'cause my character doesn't know what happened, so I'm gonna have to
Right.
replay that.
So like all this adventuring gear and shit, is that necessary?
Kinda.
potentially, but
That's nothing to
admittedly,
worry about right now, though.
Not at the moment, but
No.
admittedly, I'm going to be using everything I know against you.
God damn it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll talk to you on the
Shit's
next
on,
session.
dude. Shit's on.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.